Hey, everybody. Thanks, because it's Friday. On average, my guess as a data scientist is your flights are leaving anywhere between the next 51 to 5.5 hours. So we're going to make this fun because half of you are like, great conference, I'm over this. 1 o'clock in the afternoon, where are the slots? I need to hit this, I need to hit the outlet shops. I get it. So I wore this jacket today for 2 reasons. Because I didn't like my suit option for today, so I was like, yeah, no. Second, when I was thinking about my great friends that I've shared the stage with, I was like, they love a good, fun puzzle and a debate. Like, we are epic debaters, so this is gonna be bomb, trust me. So I was like, if you look at this jacket, and depending on how you look at it, either sales or marketing, you will have something to say. Right? Like, it's a patchwork, right? And that's the beauty of the dance of the relationship between sales and marketing, right? This patchwork and what comes first and what color matters and what should be dominant and who should be up front and why should you be doing this and how does it affect your tactics? There are really smart people here, so I'm not going to be, and to my left, I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to talk about the great human beings that I've gotten to know and why they're great at what they do, and then they'll tell you what they do, right? So Arun is great at really being able to see the business case, make the business case, show you why that's the case, and then get you to execute on it, right? Amazing. Right? That's what you want. Lauren, among many things, is an epic debater, and the reason why epic debaters are needed is because when you are a strategic partner, you have to be able to be the red thread and pull on it. Not only is she gifted in all of the things that she'll tell you, that gift, the ability to see the red thread and pull on it, that is what executives do. Those are, when you read about great executives, that's what great executives do. Kaushal, he is the quiet person that listens to everything you have to say for 59 minutes of the meeting and then drops the mic drop in the 1 minute. Yeah, so heard everything and you should do brrr, and then everybody's like, yeah, okay, did somebody record that? Right, because now you're at time, right? That's his gift. And lastly, Ricky. So to have empathy and to have business acumen at the same time and to be able to switch between them like a light switch is a gift. And these are the gifts of the people that I get to share the stage with. And so with that, I'd love for you guys to go. I think I'm supposed to sit over there. I didn't realize. Oh, there's my ex. Sorry, guys. Here's my ex. So let's start with you, Ricky, if you don't mind telling the good folks who you are.
Is this on? Is it on? Awesome. Well, thank you for staying here. It's great. Right? Yeah, kudos to you. Bravo. Happy. Right? Well, my name is Ricky Ramos. I'm a branding strategy consultant, and I work with a collective of consultants across the globe. And I'm here in a marketing and sales panel because I'm bringing the design and the creativity aspect to sales and how I was able to have direct conversations with people that I really never have conversations with, like somebody from the branding side, creating the packaging, the concept and the design, never really gets to have a conversation with the sales team that's out there and actually putting that product in the shelf. But in reality, and we were speaking about this 3 minutes ago, they're the most important people. And the fact that I was able to have that conversation first with my clients, the brand managers, and saying like, you know what, I think we need to have conversations with them. And how can I, in the design, in the packaging, in the concept, create sales arguments in order for them to sell that product correctly. So that's what I want to bring here today. Please ask questions.
Nice to meet everyone. My name's Kaushal Kakadia. I'm a partner at a social media agency called Socially In. We're a global agency helping global brands worldwide do better marketing on social. And my background personally, I don't have personal experience in marketing or sales, but what I do have experience in and why I feel like it's valuable here is growing an agency from 4 people to 70 plus people worldwide through the last 9 years has been a journey that as a leader in that organization and taking a step back, I have a behind the scenes picture of how the organization thrived, first through sales, second through marketing, and where we are today. And I think I bring a perspective of, like Darnell was saying earlier, I don't have much to say about marketing and sales, but what I can bring is the empathetic, HR-driven leadership that we implied throughout our organization and how that amplified what we were doing with our sales efforts, with our marketing efforts, and how now when we talk to the world's largest brands, I'm more there of just a face, and then at the very end, like Darnell mentioned, I'll tell them why this is not important for them, but why it's important for the organization and the organization's customers, and then I drop the mic like Darnell said. Thank you all.
By the way, Kaushal rhymes with social, and he's in charge of a social media marketing firm. So I was like, way to leave that one out.
Good point.
So hi, everyone. I'm Lauren Petrullo. I own a digital marketing agency in Orlando, and we do high-volume Facebook ads for e-commerce and lead generation clients. And we work alongside sales teams and call centers where we're providing high volume of leads, and that conversation and intersection of lead quality is where I can really come speak to the most. Last but not least.
Hi everyone, my name is Arun Lal. My background's been as an entrepreneur. So I ran a startup, a tech startup, for 4 years, exited that. And prior to that, been in product marketing and product management in big companies and small, but primarily always focused on B2B and enterprise SaaS generally. So that's my background. And yeah, I do care a lot about the big picture and how you design sales motions and the right collaboration and the right metrics across sales and marketing to enable better collaboration and decision making. So we'll talk about that too, hopefully, in this discussion. Looking forward to this conversation.
See, I'm faking it. As you can tell, the mic's. Wait. Oh, sure. I think they heard me. So, as you can tell, it is a great conversation ahead of us. So, I will pose to them the question that always turns this into an amazing debate. So, sales and marketing, do you notice that your partners have them properly defined? Understand the relationship between both? And understand which one drives the bus and when? Go. Go, because I can't wait for everyone to hear it. Please, no.
This mic did not work. I know we're like semi-last panel, but anyways. Well, I was saying I come from the creative aspects of, I guess, marketing, like that side that we only talk about concepts, we only talk about look and feel. My presentations consist of a Pinterest board, and these could be like so far away from what sales team really sees in their daily basis. So it's interesting that they've never had, well, in my experience, they always get this disconnect of these conversations, but in reality, they love design. Like the sales team loves design. The sales team wants to have like beautiful things presented to them. Why are you presenting to me this horrible PowerPoint presentation when the marketing team is getting these beautiful experiences and I'm like left on the side? And they're the ones out there selling. And I mean, I feel passionate because my first project in my entire career was in trade marketing. And then me coming from branding, I was like, really? That sounds like not sexy at all. Like, why am I gonna do trade marketing? I wanna do like a brand, I wanna create a packaging. But in the end, it was so fulfilling to have that deep conversation with someone that was like, wow, this is cool. Yes, I can use this beautiful design to present to my clients, my direct clients, when I go and do this 3-minute sale of selling a product, right? This was Heineken company in Mexico, and they were having a hard time selling Heineken to a Mexican market that really only drinks Mexican beer, and they love Mexican beer. So why would I buy Heineken? And these salespeople were asked to have conversation, and I'll be really quick on this story because it's good. They were asked to have conversations about why Heineken was better than other beers. In a marketing deck that was in English, first of all, bullet points that they really didn't understand. They are not able to pronounce even Heineken sometimes. So what we did in design, we helped the marketing team say like, okay, let's just translate all of this. Translate it to something simple, beautifully designed, yes, but with good sales arguments from the packaging and the design that we have. And that's why I feel passionate about, that's why I'm in this panel. Go ahead, Lauren, you were gonna speak, and I interrupted.
No, I was just
You were
excited.
like, yes.
No, I mean, so from my side, we create presentations of what the Facebook conversion funnel looks like, so what the ads look like, what the campaigns look like, and what the automatic emails provide. And so when I'm talking about large hotel chains and timeshare properties where we're sending them 500, 700 leads a day, when we were able to bring in the design brand team to make their sales presentation materials in alignment with what our marketing efforts were, helped facilitate that conversation sale. So if sales is driving the bus because they're taking all the customers to the end destination, marketing is choosing all the steps on the route, and which so often the sales team doesn't have the resources for marketing, and it's made a really big difference. Like I'm talking about $10,000 upsell differences for timeshare campaigns when you had that brand alignment of cohesive assets.
I changed my keywords from storytelling to story selling. And the sales teams loved it because it's true. They are telling stories all the time about the brands that they're selling.
I think it's very important I think sales is definitely holding the sales number, so it's very important to align on that. I think, but once you've established some semblance or hypothesis around a sales motion, then the job of marketing is to make sure the sales velocity keeps going up every quarter over quarter by making the adjustments and making the observations around where things are stuck. So I think that's where marketing plays an important role in figuring out where the points of friction are in a sales funnel and having a plan with content, strategies, creative ideas, design, branding, to remove those friction points and eventually help the sales people achieve their goals faster in a more easy way. And then in the modern sales motions, especially in B2B or enterprise SaaS, a lot of the companies use the land and expand strategy. So what it means is you get a small land with a small deal, but the journey doesn't stop there. The journey almost begins by when you sell within the account and keep growing the account by doing more upsell and cross-sell. So marketing role doesn't really just stop at just making sure the land happens, but also working with the stakeholders within the customer to enable growth of the account over time. One of the metrics I always keep an eye on is the cost of customer acquisition, like how much does it cost for you to deliver the first deal and at the right ACV and in how much time. And there's a whole formula we use around sales velocity, which is how much ACV is delivered under what time at what cost. And we watch that metric very carefully. I personally love to look at that data and see if it's going up or down every quarter.
And I'd like to actually add upon that, Arun. So like he was mentioning that the sales team feeds the marketing team, and I also think, vice versa, the marketing team feeds the sales team. Kind of like how Ricky was mentioning earlier, the storytelling aspect of it. And I'll speak from my own perspective. I know it's different for every single business, but I've been through the scale of the agency from where our only business was local clients in a very small city The only other business that we would ever get is through referrals by doing good work, all the way to now where I get so many leads that hit us up that we don't have anybody on our sales team that hunts for leads. We're a 100% inbound company. Everybody comes to us, and then now we're able to provide them the service. And what I've learned through that process really is there's 3 key things that sales teams and marketing teams don't typically correlate on or have miscommunication around. And that first one is their terminology. What the sales team is telling the client is happening versus what they are pitching versus what's actually happening underneath the hood. It's like when you get a brand new beautiful car, right? You look at it from in here, and then inside, one way or another, either the engine's messed up or vice versa. The car looks like shit. Sorry for my language, but the engine inside is beautiful. And I think that happens a lot between sales and marketing is they just don't correlate. They're miscommunicating. They're saying the wrong things. The second part is the communication between them. They both tell the clients different things, and that typically ends in a wrong position. Whether both of them are right or both of them are wrong, once the client has heard 2 different things, you're already headed down the wrong path. And the third is the KPIs. Like Arun was mentioning, sales are after quotas. They have a time frame. They're trying to hit it quick. I got to get my commission. I'm trying to make 150K this year. And marketing's like, well, slow down, buddy. It's going to take us 5 years just to hit our goal. And this is the plan that we have. This is how you lay it out. This is why we need to do it in this manner. So it's a little bit of both, right? You need a good bit of each other. Just like my beautiful wife there, I need her. She needs me, I hope. That I think it marries each other. And when you marry each other, you become this machine. And that's really what I had to learn the hard way. We were only sales driven for the longest, and we had growth. I'm not saying one doesn't work without the other, but it was stagnant. And then when we started to focus more on marketing, we realized, okay, now we're just focusing on storytelling, but we're not getting any leads. So what does that do? If I'm telling my story and nobody's talking to me, well, I guess I'm the only one listening. And then last, when I started to do both, it's when everything started to come together and the team was able to collaborate and they were communicating. And now the client understood from top to bottom within the organization that these people know what they're talking about, and they actually are saying the exact same thing and speaking the exact same language, and it's a seamless experience. And I think that's what's very important, is when you have a seamless experience, then you actually start to make the changes and have the conversations that lead to the decisions that drive the results.
100%. And we confirmed on the side as you were talking that your better half understood the assignment when she signed up, and she confirmed that you're good. So, so in talking about all these things, one thing that I've heard all week, and I really want to address this because I'm the data nerd on this on staff. Data is a number, analytics is a process, insight's your story. I've heard. Thank you. I'll be here at 5:30. Drinks are 2 for 1. So, because I've just heard it misused, misspoken all week. Oh, we use our data, we use our analytics. I mean, then that means you are burning a lot of cash. But I'm not a VC. We're not here to talk about that. What I want to say to the group, because we had a great conversation around this. What value is insight in the conversation when, as a trusted partner, you have to be the arbiter? And how do you use insight to help your arbitration within the organizations you partner with between sales and marketing?
And I'm going to answer the question with following up on your point, because in the end it's about language. Yeah. I found out it's about language, and that's why. And we were having this conversation like 3 minutes ago that insight is really the key word that is spoken in all teams inside different silos in a company. So I've used insight in multiple presentations of just a branding or a packaging concept to the sales team. I've used the insights that they understand, and they know the value out there. They know the value for their work and their value for their money, their time, because they are in a time constructed, team. So it's about language. And I created this concept called a translator for a company, because in the end that's what we were doing. We were translating the marketing language to sales language. And the common denominator in the middle was always the insight. This is the insight that is feeding marketing and the communication there. And this is the insight that should feed sales and your sales arguments here. So to me, it's about that language at that point.
I was going to say, to take off Ricky and go back to Kaushal's like KPI conversation, just what we used with the insights were the sales team could care less about our cost per lead. And as a marketing firm, we're optimizing within Facebook Ads Manager, and CPL is your conversion number. That's the best indicator of success before the click. But we incorporated sales insight on lead quality and adjusted our entire language and translated it to sales, where we're really only caring about the cost per conversion of an answered call, and like backing out of this CPL optimizing before the click and doing it post-click, and getting insights from our sales team on what additional questions we want to ask in our lead qualifying forms that can indicate a higher percentage of someone getting on the phone, of someone engaging in a conversation for these high-end ticket products. So I was like, we use that language to adjust our KPI. Sorry, everyone, I have nothing to add yours to it, but I'm sure you have something that'll even be better.
Yeah, I want to take a different tack around insights. So one of the key problems as a go-to-market leader I face is our customers get approached by at least 5 to 7 competitors selling pretty much exactly the same thing. And it's very hard for our sellers to articulate our differentiation. And that's where the idea of insights comes in. I think as a product marketer or marketers in general, our job is to come up with unique insights about the customer, unique insights about the market, about where the market is headed, what are the big trends, and construct a unique differentiated story using those insights. Because you can't really change the product fast enough, because all 6 or 7 competitors have the same product or capabilities. What you can change pretty quickly is the storytelling and the insights that you can construct a narrative around to power your sales motion. And I think that's the uniqueness that marketers can bring to the table, crystallizing the right insights which are unique to your business and presenting that point of view to your buyers. So I think it's very important for marketers to constantly be looking for new insights across the business. And another aspect of this is that these insights already exist. So in my case, I sometimes feel the job of marketing is not inventing so much, but rather discovering a lot of these insights. So what I constantly do as a part of the collaboration with sales is I watch the pitches, I attend a lot of meetings with customers, and in those conversations, these insights emerge. And as a marketer, you can start to recognize a pattern across multiple meetings, and you see that one insight is really resonating really well with the customer. And our job is to take it back, package it up, and make sure it scales across the entire sales team. And that's proven to be a very effective method. In fact, at the current company I'm at, Productive, we launched this notion of a SaaS intelligence movement. And the idea, while it sounds unique, actually came through a customer conversation that we had, and we picked up on that thread and then tested the idea with many other customers, and then we scaled the campaign, and it's been very successful. So net, marketers need to listen more and discover these insights rather than try to invent something.
And I love the key word that you said is discovery. And I think this discovery happens, in all teams when you're like, wow, this insight is amazing about the shopper, and I can talk about it in the packaging and the design, and then the same feeling of discovery and awe and wow, I can do this for my product happens in every level. We're just not having the same conversation of like, wow, did you think that insight was cool too? Yeah, it's true. Because it is, right? Everybody has that feeling, and I think in the end, and we've spoken about this, throughout the conference, about this human connection with our work. and learning that we are actually all humans. We're all the same. We just have a title, like a different title. But we're all shoppers. We all love beautiful packaging. We all love beautiful products. We all speak the same language, and we are all in awe with discovery, which I love that keyword.
And I'd like to end that with an applicable scenario. So one thing that we started to do at the agency as we started to grow and work with these brands, and as you all have known, marketing has become harder with the privacy changes, with the platforms adapting, with the landscape always changing. But the one thing that's always stayed true is the messaging and the storytelling and the creative at the end. So one of the things that we did at our agency is we hired a post-content strategist, a PCS is like what we like to call it. And what their role is, a lot of people have the idea of, hey, let's test this variable. This is what the market wants. This is what our audience is looking for. And then they run it, and then they get the report, the data, like Darnell was mentioning. They get the data, and they think they figured it out. They think they got the magic formula. They know what's working, what's not working, and then they just continue to do the same. But what they haven't really looked at is you got the report after 1 week, but what happened in the lifespan of that creative? What did people actually say about it? How did they engage with it? What kind of emotion did it make them feel? So one of the things we've done is we've applied an actual human being to go in and gauge this by literally one-on-one, seeing what people are saying, seeing what kind of tone of voice they're using, analyzing how they're doing it. And it's actually a pretty unique perspective because one of the findings that we had was we had a company that we were working with. They were in the pet space. How many of you own animals or pets? Well, so this company was in the innovative pet equipment space. And one of the things that they created is a dog collar that is not inhumane. It doesn't shock them. It doesn't hurt them. But it has this vibrating notion that's supposed to keep them from barking. Well, any of you that may be animal lovers will probably go ahead and tell me, that's not humane, Kosha. What are you talking about? Well, we probably should have told these guys that when they were thinking about it. So we ran through this entire campaign. We spent, a couple $100. We got these clicks. And come to find out, the only thing that people are saying on their pieces of content is the angry emoji on Facebook and what the hell are y'all doing and why are y'all selling this? Come to find out, the reason that they even became the company that they are is they created another product prior to this, which was for neighbors who had other neighbors with annoying pets, and you would put this little device outside, and it would emit this radio frequency that would keep the animals from barking.
Or are you working with them?
We didn't work with them, we fired them. But long story short, people have a misconception of, they look at the report, that's the data, they're like, hey, my click-through rate is 5%, my cost per click is 50%, that's the analytics, but what they don't understand is, hey, these people were not converting because they did not like my product, because I was going after the wrong audience, because they are animal lovers, and I'm creating a product that does not tailor to animal lovers. And that's the misconception between sales and marketing and analytics and the insights, is when you truly have an insight, you understand what's going to work, you understand how to pivot, and then you work on fixing it, like Arun was saying. You apply it all the way around and you fix it.
So, yeah, just want to tag on to that. On the B2B world, what we do is I ask all my marketers to go and pitch customers or get on the phone call and try and get a meeting. And the messaging and all the work, it becomes real so fast because you face rejection or you get no engagement from the customer, and all the marketers go back and revise their pitch decks and revise their messaging after like 5 conversations. So it's very important to go and battle test all the messaging that you do, because being in that silo or just taking the theoretical inside-out view does not help. So, yeah, that's a great practice, and I highly recommend just going and pitching and being really empathetic with the salesperson as to what they go through every day, trying to get a meeting, trying to close a deal, trying to move a deal to the next stage. Those have been some of our biggest insights.
Yeah, so with our time coming to an end, want to just really name something that you guys spoke about and then ask you a question, a lightning question, and then open it up to questions. It's very interesting to look at companies, as well posited as they are, or if they're a startup, have no fundamental idea of the understanding of transforming a business, yet everyone wants you to transform a business. Most times that comes because they have so much anarchy within their data. They either don't know what to do with it, they don't know how to process it, or they put so many math nerds around it that are so biased in what they see as well as the company that they get a garbage in, garbage out answer that they feel solid enough to go to market with. My company deals with bias, not here to sell it, so full stop, you can go to the website. We look at what we call a notion of algo elitism. Big companies use algorithms to be elitist, sexist, racist. I mean, you can be a black company that's offering shade products to black and brown women who like that matches their shade. But if you go to certain properties to purchase media, you will get flagged for being racist, sexist, or racy like Pornhub. So that if you take all of that bias that I'm speaking to and that sort of that algorithmic, right, and it's not just a data model. Algorithms are the strategies and the processes and those decks that we all come up with. How do you find your clients respond to it when you you put it in front of them like, hey guys, your baby's, it's not necessarily that your baby's ugly, it's more that you just need to be more consistent and maybe the pamper change, right? And how do you get them to see that? Because that's really key to getting everyone in both sales and marketing aligned, to be able to see the things that you're offering and see the results really clearly.
Great question. And I'm gonna speak to like an actual project that I was in with, and I did not sign an NDA, so I can talk about it. Right? This is not live, right? Oh, I think I'm live in this too. But, so, oh, damn it. One of my clients was an ABI InBev, Stellar Tour, and we were working on creating a shopper tactic for the female shopper globally. So our role was to create a design and sales arguments for the new campaigns that were coming in for us, right? And in this role, I was in the sales associates teams. And in the data, I was reading through the data. I was reading through the insights, actually, because I had a team that was doing the insights, the strategy. So I was like, you know what? This feels, rather than only, the female shopper, it feels a lot like the LGBTQ community. Because I'm gay, so I was like, a lot of this resonates with how I shop, how I buy products, how I love that packaging, and I love the beauty of Stellar Tour. And they were talking about this chalice that they have, so it's just like the neat way of drinking Stellar Tour. And I went to the brand manager, the global brand manager of Stellar Tour, and I'm like, you know what? I think you're wrong. I think you're wrong in not only having a conversation in just not having a conversation with just the female shopper, and not having a conversation, with the LGBTQ community. And in the end, he was like, you know what, it's true. So let's just change this whole insights and build this whole platform and trade toolkit, rather than just the female shopper, more of what the actual insight is, which is the beautiful packaging and the beauty of the brand in the beer aisle, which is, really, you don't really see a lot of beautiful beer brands, specifically for that target. So yes, that happened there in that moment.
So, because I don't want marketing 2.0 to annihilate me for being over, if I can ask that the rest of you take 45 seconds each to really lean into that, that would be great. And then, or if you guys would be willing, we could give that time back. And it seems like people are going to be really engaged and have some good questions. Sure.
I only got one thing to say on that, Darnell. It's the way I think about sales and marketing and what I tell my clients. I work in social media, right? What is this kid telling me about social media? He doesn't know anything about business. I have no idea why he's telling me to post on my Facebook page or my TikTok. The way I explain to clients or brands that want to work with us, some of them have a well understanding, a lot of them don't. And I work with all types of different industries. And they're like, hey, I'm going to pay you $5,000. What kind of ROI am I going to get? And I always tell them, I was like, how do you define ROI? And I ask them, do you understand the ROI your parents gave you? Can you quantify that for me? And they're like, no. And I'm like, but you can't tell me that they had a major impact on your life, right? And that's the way I think about social media. It has a major impact. You sometimes can't give it an ROI, but I also like to give the analogy of it's a Sour Patch Kid. It's sour at first. It sucks when you first get it in your mouth, but the second it turns sweet, you can't tell me that you don't enjoy that Sour Patch. And that's how social media and marketing is.
Your thoughts? Is it okay to give back? Peoples, thank you for being part of this, and thank you for letting us go over on time. Yes, and with that, we will turn it over. Please, we'd love to hear from you.
Hi, my name is Abby, and I actually have a degree in industrial design, so I hear you, Ricky, on not hearing enough on design. And so my question for you is, how do you use, and what is your strategy on using creativity and design in tandem with sales and marketing?
Thank you. Great question. And I think I'll keep going on this concept of word that I use is story selling with the sales team. And I think it's same, again, we were still talking about language, right? The correct keywords can trigger a lot of that discovery. See, it's all a loop. And I use that language because, as you know, in creativity, in design, the design space, we always have these conversations on concepts that are very ethereal, that we understand, and we understand the look and feel, we understand the visuals and the mood boards, but then we need to have a conversation with the sales team who's actually gonna sell the product that we're designing. And in the end, is that story selling mentality from the concept, why did we pick that look and feel? Why did we pick that color in the packaging? And why is it important for you in the sales team to say, hey, this product is gonna sell fast because it's the only packaging that has this label. And it has helped my clients.
Hey guys,
Sup?
you guys are smart people,
Thank you. Yeah.
especially you.
Oh.
Okay, so I have a question for you guys. Look, my clients are, I own an agency, my clients are physicians, dentists, lawyers, financial advisors who make between $1 and $5 million. So I work with low volume, low velocity, low variety, high value data. Most of our high impact strategies fail to work. It's like Jetsons meeting Flintstones. It's like you need 170 net new patients to get $1 million. How do I take the whole digital marketing metaverse to that thing? I mean, you talked about segmentation. I mean, 170 net new patients, $1 million. I mean, there is not enough data to slice, not enough data to analyze. You say, insights? I mean, what bloody insight? I could make someone make a... how do I do the cool sciencey stuff to someone who makes $1 million from 170 people?
Great question, right? So most people, we have mythologized what big data is, and unless you have any fundamentals in math, you really kind of don't understand what big data really is. Big data is just more throughput. It's not really bigger data because it's actually, from a math standpoint, built off of small data, same way equivalent to when you were in 3rd grade and you learned operators inside of a formula to make the formula bigger to get you to an answer. That's it. So you actually already have all the information that you need. What the biggest point with information is the answer to the why question. People either get scared to ask the why question, don't ask enough why questions, or stop asking the why questions. So for example, specifically to what you're talking about, so it doesn't feel like, a gloss over, your focus should probably be on what we call it distinctly time, place, and situation. You need to have those triangulated. Unless you have those triangulated, you will never be able to understand how your things are working in concert. You need to understand that physicians in Iowa at 7 p.m. are favorable to receiving an email on a Samsung mobile device, specifically of this model. If you have that information, you could have that information from 10 visits to a website. You don't need 10,000 in order to do that. Again, to my point about the mythologizing of needing volume and velocity. You do not need volume and velocity unless your business pushes volume and velocity. If you're starting in micro spaces, you deal with your micro instances and your micro circumstances, and you triangulate them. Because if you consistently triangulate micro instances, they then lead to the macro things you're trying to achieve. I hope that helps.
Yeah, I just want to add to that. Essentially, in situations where you have very few customers or very long sales cycles, one suggestion could be that you just go and interview like 20 or 30 customers, have direct conversations, and ask them how do they consume information? What's their process for making a decision? And I think in 20 data points, in 20 interviews, you'll be able to construct a buyer's journey. And then at least you'll have a hypothesis that these are the decisions they make at this velocity. And then you can use digital marketing for helping them move from one stage to the other. So that's something you can experiment with.
Yeah, we do that. Thank you. And you're cool too. You're not just good.
Yes, Ricky is. Thank you for he thanks you for the compliment. Guys, thank you for giving us some time. Just wanted to give a quick summary about something you should take away. That sales and marketing are really complex. However, they're strange bedfellows nonetheless. Really important to understand the information that you have on hand, how you're leveraging that information, and how that information helps you to understand your engagement paths for your customers. And then lastly, getting everyone to be able to have a unified view of information and insight, because then you have everyone singing off the same hymn sheet, removing the anarchy from within the organization, specifically between the sales and marketing divisions. I hope this helps. I hope that we were thorough, and hope we were fun, because it's 2 o'clock and there are slots calling, as well as planes. So again, thank you, and most importantly, thank you to the Marketing Conference for helping us give this information to you. And thank you, everyone.